Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so incredibly thrilled to have you here today because, well, we're tackling a concept that completely transforms how we think about retail and customer loyalty. If you're a focused learner looking to level up your understanding of customer experience, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're looking at a truly fascinating training framework titled, You Are Selling Trust and Experience. And here's the core concept we're going to unpack. When we sell physical products, whether that's, an articulated 3D printed dragon, a fidget toy, or a really cool collectible, that physical object itself is only a tiny fraction of what the customer is actually buying from us. Seriously, the plastic or the filament, that might literally cost you 50 cents. The real magic is what convinces them to happily pay $20 for it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll hit the commodity trap. Then, the science of trust, followed by what customers actually buy. Next, we put it all into practice by building the trust stack. Look at how to handle moments when things go wrong, and finally conclude with the ultimate business standard. All right, let's jump in.
Section 1. The commodity trap, competing beyond the plastic object.
We got to start by framing the initial problem. If we reduce our offer to just a plastic object, we are inviting a totally unwinnable price war with massive scale vendors. You know the ones, Temu, AliExpress, Amazon. To really understand this threat, we have to define what a commodity actually is. A commodity is a product that's incredibly easy to compare purely by price, simply because the customer sees little to no meaningful difference between you and another seller. If our entire sales pitch is just, hey, this is a dragon, it costs $20, well, we instantly fall right into this trap. A customer can literally just pull out their smartphone, search for dragon, and find hundreds of cheaper results in seconds. Our job isn't to prevent comparison. Actually, it's to create real, tangible differences that make us worth comparing against.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we should handle those inevitable comparisons right there on the sales floor. A weak, defensive, and frankly kind of dismissive way to address cheap online competition is to just brush it off and say, well, the cheap one online is junk. It doesn't actually prove anything, right? But a stronger, evidence-based approach is to stand your ground. You say, we inspect ours, we make sure that joints and details work perfectly, and we stand behind what we sell. Plus, you can actually see and try this one right here before deciding. See the difference? That statement entirely shifts the dynamic away from just the price tag and completely toward value.
Which brings us to the absolute thesis of this entire explainer. The product earns attention. Trust makes the purchase feel safe. Experience makes the customer want to return. I absolutely love this quote. You have to remember that the physical product you hand over is really just a proof of your promises. It's the trust and the experience that actually secure that long-term relationship.
Section 2. The science of trust. The psychology behind the purchase.
Okay, so researchers Mayer, Davis, and Shorman discovered that trustworthiness is built on 3 essential pillars. And this framework perfectly helps us uncover the underlying psychological questions customers are silently asking themselves when they hold our products. Think of these 3 pillars as competence, honesty, and care. First up, ability. This just means the customer believes we actually know what we're doing. Tangibly, on the floor, this means knowing a dragon's articulation, recognizing a defect, and being able to clearly explain it. Next is integrity. Do our words match our actions? This means using the posted price, applying consistent discounts, and flat out refusing to sell a defective item. And finally, benevolence. This means we actually care about the customer's outcome, not just extracting their cash. It's respecting a buyer's budget, or even recommending a less expensive item when it's genuinely the better fit for them.
Section 3. What customers actually buy. The hidden value in every transaction.
According to Sweeney and Sutar's per-val framework, when someone walks away with a collectible from you, they aren't just buying plastic. Not at all. They are buying reduced risk because someone, you, inspected the product and stands behind it. They're buying curation because we've already done the hard work of sorting through the best designs, the coolest colors, and the highest quality levels, so they didn't have to. Along with all of that, they're buying guidance, convenience, emotional value, social value, and relationship value. Now, it is super important to note here, building trust doesn't mean we can suddenly just overcharge people. Price definitely still matters, but understanding these invisible layers justifies our true value and explains exactly why customers happily choose a trusted local vendor over some faceless website.
Section 4. Building the trust stack. A layer-by-layer approach to loyalty.
Let's move to and see how this builds into something we call the trust stack, showing exactly how we take all this psychology and execute it right on the sales floor. Trust is built through repeated signals, layered one on top of the other. It starts right at the foundation with step 1, visible quality. Clean products, working articulation, absolutely no sharp edges. Step 2 is professional consistency, readable prices, and neat, organized displays. Step 3 is honest guidance, clear explanations with zero fake urgency. Step 4 is human experience, a warm, welcoming greeting and genuine excitement. And the absolute peak, Step 5, is accountability, a real willingness to resolve problems. But here is the critical takeaway of the trust stack. Listen closely to this. Those higher layers, the amazing human experience and guidance, they will instantly collapse if that foundational layer of visible quality is crumbling. You literally cannot charm your way out of a broken product.
And that is exactly why quality control is a trust promise. Checking for print failures, testing those joints, making sure there are no missing layers. This isn't some wasteful exercise in perfectionism. It's a vital trust promise. Do not, under any circumstances, make the customer perform your final inspection after they get home. Quality control is how we protect the customer relationship before our problem even has a chance to begin.
Section 5. When things go wrong. Service recovery as a relationship tool.
We have to address the most critical, nerve-wracking moment in all of retail, when a product fails. We need to completely reframe this. A failure isn't a disaster. It's actually a powerful opportunity to cement long-term trust, rather than lose it. Researchers Tax, Brown, and Chandrasekharan found that customers judge how you handle this through 3 distinct forms of fairness. First, outcome fairness. Was the final solution reasonable, like a fair refund or replacement? Second, process fairness. Was it actually easy and practical for them to get it resolved? And third, interpersonal fairness. Was the customer treated with respect? This last one is vital because even a technically perfect refund will completely destroy trust if the customer feels ignored, embarrassed, or somehow blamed during the process.
So how do we actually handle it? Here is a highly practical 6-step service recovery process. Step 1, listen without interrupting. Step 2, thank the customer for bringing it to your attention. Step 3, confirm what happened. Step 4, inspect the item fairly. Step 5, resolve it using an approved method. And Step 6, report those recurring failures back to production. Now, this structured process is the exact opposite of our natural, frankly disastrous instinct, which is usually to immediately get defensive and try to prove the customer somehow caused the problem. Instead, we pause and say, "Thank you so much for letting us know. Let's take a look and figure out the best way to make this right."
Section 6, the ultimate business standard. Long-term loyalty over single transactions.
So, the crucial point is, as we bring this explainer toward its conclusion, we have to look at the massive impact of everything we've just learned. Research by Chaudhuri and Holbrook shows brand trust directly connects to long-term loyalty, and that loyalty leads to greater price resilience. It all comes down to our daily habits. We have to ruthlessly eliminate trust-destroying habits, things like selling known defects, pretending to know an answer when we don't, using fake scarcity to force a sale, or blaming the customer. Instead, we must deeply anchor to trust-building habits, checking products before a sale, actively admitting uncertainty if we don't know an answer, giving consistent information, and correcting our mistakes without any drama. Everything anchors back to that genuine, human local booth experience.
Which leaves us with this final, absolutely crucial question to ask ourselves every single day. Will the way I handled this specific sale make this customer comfortable returning to buy from us again? The plastic object is just what leaves your booth today, but the trust and the experience, that is what decides if your business survives tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope you found it as fascinating as I did.